Hello again, and thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Again, I can only say huge thank you to everyone who watched the last couple of videos, my Does RKO Beat Hero series. I really appreciate the feedback and really had some great conversations based on these videos. One of the highest requested games or, well, matchups in the last couple of days was actually Gravy Bones. And I need to admit that's a matchup that I'm struggling with a lot. I've had some success, but I've also had very, very tough losses. And so, yeah, for me, it's still a little bit unsolved. But here today, we're trying to take a look at this matchup together. And what I need to say up front is that I think the way you play this matchup actually depends a lot on what kind of RKO list you're playing right now. There are more defensive leaning ones. There are ones that do have quite a lot of more go again. And yeah, that really dictates how you play this match. But yeah, let's together take a look at the game plan for the list that I'm playing right now, which is still the list from Mansand that he released for the Houston side events. I think he played that also won a ProQuest, etc. So yeah, let's take a look at the game plan now. All right, so with the list we're playing, I think the primary strategy has to be fatigue. If you look into the stats of the list, it contains a lot of 3 blocks, it contains a lot of defense reactions, and only a very limited amount of 2 blocks. And like the non-blocks outside of the sigils and the take it on the chin, you don't play them. And so I think fatigue is actually a viable strategy. And maybe actually, like, based on this list, the only strategy against Gravy. I've been trying to play more aggressive in some matches, and at times that was successful, but there were also a lot of times where it wasn't. And so it doesn't really feel consistent to me. At the same time, I think you need to admit that against really good Gravy players, the fatigue strategy is just not a thing, right? If they sniff it out, they board correctly, I think there's very limited agency that you have. But like what you can do throughout the matches is to really make sure to keep your go again attacks readily available for when Gravy does a larger turn and deploys multiple allies in one turn, because that is your fatigue strategy, right? You want to kill each and every ally that Gravy has in the deck. I think most of the times that's somewhere like around 14 to 17 in most lists. And so you need to have enough life to succeed in that, to kill all the allies and also to come back. I mean, there are some larger allies. They're also like, Chum is very difficult to kill. Sawbones at times can be very difficult to kill. And there are things that you need to look out for, like the card from the Mastery Pack Guardian, Fearless Confrontation, that allows them to reduce your attack by 1, right? So you really have to play smart and make sure that you have enough options to really kill the guys. I think it's also totally fine to roll scabs when it allows. So if you don't have a go again attack and there are 2 or 3 allies on board, if you only kill 1, they will swing back heavily, right? And so I think the upsides of rolling 2 or 3 action points in these scenarios is just what you should be doing. I feel that more and more Gravies again are playing at least 1 or 2 Whaler Humperdinks. And so that is something you really need to look out for. So they're usually deploying these in the late game. And if you don't have like an 8 power attack left anymore, and you don't have like your Apex Bonebreaker available to give you a might, then it can become quite difficult. There's still the option with like Mocking Blows, etc., to also come up to 8 or more damage if you use a boost, for example, then pitch into it. But that requires just a lot more setup than just keeping a 2 for 8 in Arsenal or just like around in your continuously smaller deck. Yeah, so that's a little bit the game plan. I've played a game against my teammate Mikey. Actually, we played quite a few games. This is the one that I would like to show you. So let's dive in. You play 62 cards with this deck. At least that was the sideboard that Ethan shared with this list. So pretty standard setup, except that you take in 2 of the Arc Smash into your list. Okay, so We get to start, which is good. And we do have outside interference with Mocking Blow, Big Bully, but we also have an Arc Smash. And I mean, we don't want to waste our cards here too much, but I think playing the Arc Smash here is viable, right? We can either destroy the gold right away if they don't have an option to use Gravy, but they do have it here, right? But at the same time, they're out of gold for their actual first turn, which at least at times can limit their gameplay. So I'm feeling okay doing this here. I think I didn't have the best Arsenal targets. So yeah, I'm getting the Mocking Blow into Arsenal because that is still the easiest one for me to pump to some damage to kill an ally, while the Big Bully would just require way more cards. Usually, like, of course it comes up to 4, but like with the Mocking Blow can easily come up to 6. And so Mikey here was able to get the second ally into Grave. He was also able to create a gold right away. So I think Gravy is pretty well set up here. We do have a hand that blocks well, but we can also attack quite a bit depending on what allies Mikey is going to deploy. And so he's activating Death Threats. He is casting a Sawbones here. And he's also casting a Chum. So 2 allies on board. He didn't attack me, which is good for me. And so here, I mean, I don't have Go again, so I definitely want to try to roll Scabs. Not a 1, luckily. But yeah, at the same time, there are a few actions I have here. So I decide to kill the Chum first, because with the Chum and the Sawbones on board, I sometimes just feel it's like too tough to clear the Chum. And here I do have an 8 power attack, so he would have needed 2 Fearless Confrontation in order for this to like not work, or like Sawbones and a Fearless Confrontation would still be 6. Yeah, and so that's the way I go, and I cap the Shelter from the Storm. Okay, here I'm a little bit sad that I don't have a 1 power or 1 attack card in Grave, because right now the looking for a scrap is actually quite difficult for me to get started. At the same time, I do have a Tunic up, so if it allows, I could, for example, think about blocking with the Overcrowded, but then I'm really starved on resources. So I think it really depends on what Mikey's doing here. And he is discarding a Scuba with a Portside Exchange, and now he has played a Prismatic Leyline. Gotta say, I hate that card, or at least playing against it. And so here, Golden Tipple comes for 4. And so yeah, I think I should decide to use the Shelter from the Storm here. It covers it up cleanly. He has activated the gold-baited hook. So by blocking this with the Shelter, I do deny him at least 1 gold. So he's sending out another Rigor Mortis, using Death Threats for a resource, and then coming in with Rigor Mortis for 6. Oh no, sorry, for 8 because of the ley line. Yeah, so here, I mean, there are multiple things I can do. I can, block with the Apex and the Command and Conquer for a might, but doesn't really... Yeah, no, it does make sense, actually. It could make sense. No, it doesn't really make sense. I think it's just, I could have also like kept this. I think I just wanted to keep my life total high and have the option to get a might. But at the same time, not really needed here. But here, then I think what now makes sense to block also with the Overcrowded, because that way, first triggering the Apex Bonebreaker creates the might. So Overcrowded blocks for 1 more. And so we're covering the full 8. At the same time, this doesn't allow me to obviously like go too wide. I mean, yes, it does, because I can now banish a card with the looking for a scrap, or I can also use the Tunic resource and the looking for a scrap to just deploy the Mandible Claw. The good thing is now with the might, it comes in for 4 and not only for 3. So he would have needed to discard Fearless Confrontation in order to keep this. And so we went 2 over, so he didn't even need to tap his Sawbones. But still, there's 1 ally out. I mean, from life total, I'm still at 40, which is good. I still have 3 sigils in deck, so technically I'm at 49, plus the equipment block that I still have left. And here I have quite a few blues to work with, but at the same time, I don't have, yeah, that many options to stay ahead in life if I don't draw a sigil now. And here, actually, I do decide to give the Scalding Flashback because he has discarded Swabby. And so if he wants to play the Swabby, he needs to now give me the last card in his hand. If that's not a blue, then there's no option for him to play the Swabby, and he might need to just play the Scuba or not play an ally at all. Because he also wants to obviously play the Rigor Mortis and attack with it. So he does have enough resources to play the Swabby and now also come in with the Swabby, I suppose. Yeah, that is 7, I see. So here I could block, I should block with 2 cards, the Red Mocking Blow and the Flex Strength. And now what I can do in my turn is to use the offensive behavior to pitch into Mandible Claw, attacking the Rigor, I suppose, discarding the outside interference to give it go again, and then play the Mocking Blow I still have in Arsenal, attack the Swabby, and with the outside interference, obviously I grab the blue, and that way I can pump it to 6, so stay clear of any Fearless Confrontation discards, and then the board is clear again. I'm still at 39 life, so yeah, feeling good, having already cleared 4 allies, if I'm not mistaken. So here, I pitch into the Mocking Blow, pumping it to 6, and board is clear. Yeah, 4 allies already gone. Cool. Hand is okay if I need to clear. I mean, I have an E-Strike, can give it go again, can attack with an 8 power attack, or follow up with a Claw, for example, which would allow me to still block with 1 card from my hand. Here, Saltwater as well comes in, and usually, if not hooked, I definitely do not block the 1 power attacks because I would give a card for just like 1 damage, and that usually is not ideal. Because yeah, I can also go fatigue in this matchup, I think. Okay, so Mikey is playing a Loan Shark. He has already 5 gold here. I know that he is playing Last Ditch Effort, so seeing him with that many gold is already troublesome. Because yeah, I mean, at first he can use this to his advantage all throughout the game in order to get the cards that he needs. But yeah, can also come in tough in the late game. And so here he comes in with a Swabby for 7, so I can easily block 2 cards and then use, for example, the E-Strike to come in for 5 and then probably draw a card into Swabby. Here I'm thinking about giving Apex Bonebreaker to deny another goal, but I mean, he's at 7 gold, and then I'm thinking, okay, maybe that 1 block can prevent like a ship from hitting at a later stage in the game. So yeah, I'm keeping the 1 block here. And so for me, it's just sending E-Strike, draw a card into Swabby. And actually, like, the card that I've drawn is probably one of the best I can draw in this situation. Looking for a scrap, I can put it into Arsenal. There are quite a few cards that I don't really want into my Arsenal, but I think the upside of like drawing something that I can actually use is quite high. Okay, so on his turn, Mikey is playing a Call to the Grave. He is getting another Sobon in. And speaking of the Conqueror of the High Seas, he actually has it in his hand right now. But yeah, I mean, I have enough cards to block with in my hand. I don't want to give him the gold in my arsenal. So here I block with Big Bully and E-Strike and now take it on the chin. I mean, the go again doesn't do much for me here, but that way I can keep the blue, and like depending on how many allies he is now deploying, I can now send both the Looking for a Scrap and then the Mandible Claw to deal with the allies. So it doesn't seem like he's deploying a second ally. And so I end up actually blocking with a Steal Victory here. Nothing to steal, unfortunately, but it prevents 3 damage. And now I can use the Tunic resource and attack him with the Looking for a Scrap. I mean, technically, I could have also like kept the Steal Victory and then attacked him for 5 and then 3 at the Sawbones, or keep the Looking for a Scrap in Arsenal and just use the Claw into Sawbones. But especially with Sawbones, I ideally, if I can, Yeah, so ideally, if I can, I want to be at least 1 above 3, so attack at least for 4, because if he uses Sawbones and then there's Fearless Confrontation in his hand to discard, it was all for naught, and I don't clear that ally. Yeah, and so here I decide to use the Looking for a Scrap. I actually decide to banish a card here. Probably I shouldn't have done that. I mean, I have Rotten Remains in my deck. My opponent plays a lot of 1-power attacks, and I didn't need to go again, and I didn't need to pump it to 5. Yes, that's a little bit safer for sure, but in order to stay clear of 4, he would need 2 Fearless Confrontation, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2 Fearless Confrontation. Yeah. Okay, so my hand blocks, my hand attacks, so I can definitely block for 7 here, or theoretically even for 10 with Fate Foreseen, Swing Big, and Mocking Blow, and then come back with a Claw, pitching the Nimblism. Nimblism is definitely the card I don't want to block. I only play 1, and I always want to ideally have my Nimbies live in order for me to get into like a 6-power attack. And here, Mikey pitches his last ditch effort, the first one. He's playing another Prismatic Leyline, so there's a lot of damage coming at me this turn, I suppose. He is revealing an Anka, so Murderous Rebel actually comes in for 1 less than it could have. It's just good. I use Fate Foreseen, only take 1. I see another Fate Foreseen on top. It's okay, I want that on top to block out and then swing back. Okay, so Jittery Bones, likely he had already played a blue, so this doesn't get the power up, but he is discarding the Anka that he saw on top. So coming in for 2 doesn't, yeah. I mean, I could have blocked it, yes, for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's sending another attack here. And yeah, ultimately, I think I would even take more damage if I would have blocked the other one. But here, I actually decided to only block with the Mocking Blow because Anka has 4 life. No, sorry, 3 life. And so, yeah, again, ideally, I haven't seen a Fearless Confrontation yet, or has he pitched one earlier? I can't remember. But yeah, I want to clear the Anka for sure. But maybe, yeah, maybe I should have just attacked it for 3 and not play around the Fearless Confrontation. Then I still would have a Swing Big in Arsenal that could allow me to attack at a later stage or block differently at one point. So we have already cleared 7 allies. So I think Mikey plays 17 in this matchup. So 10 to go. Life total could be better, but I think we're still in the game. He didn't have like this super large pop-up turn yet, but he still can. I mean, there's still lots of time left. So he discarded Chum with a Gravy Bones activation. He has played, he also pitched into a gold, and now he played a Vast Yi, so most likely deploying 2 allies, I guess. Yeah, here comes the, oh no, here comes the Scuba. First one he played, so coming in for 4, recycling a Leyline, of course. I can use the Fate Foreseen. Let's see what we see on top. It's another Fate Foreseen, so let's keep it on top again. So 2 times revealing a Fate Foreseen with a Fate Foreseen. Funny. And here comes another Conqueror. Good thing is I don't have anything in Arsenal. Still, I do not want to take too much damage here. But at the same time, he probably deploys the Chum if he has the resources. If he has a blue and then can use Death Threats, he can definitely deploy the Chum. And so I want to keep the Swing Big and then either kill the Scuba or the Chum next turn. But he's also coming in for another 4 damage here, bringing me down to 19 already. Actually, oh no, he didn't have an action point anymore, so he couldn't attack me. 23 will remain. Now the question is, do I kill the Scuba or do I kill the Chum? He still has 1 Leyline in grave, I believe. And yeah, so the question is, but I mean, setting a Swing Big at a Scuba feels a little bit overpowered. And I already saw so many 2-for-8s, and I need ideally a 2-for-8 in order to clear Chum. So yeah, at the end, I decide to clear the Chum and not the Scuba. And maybe that haunts me at the end because Leyline can be so powerful, especially in the end game, combining like the yellow, red, and blue attacks. But let's see. So my next attack, my next hand doesn't really block. So there's basically no option for me to clear the Scuba. But now he discarded a Swabby with the Chart of the High Seas. And yeah, so maybe there's an option for me to actually then clear the Swabby while blocking 7. Yeah, I was thinking, does it make sense to deploy the Arc Smash here to kill 3 of the gold that Mikey is collecting? Here he actually used Gravy and discarded another Rigor Mortis. So now he has 2 allies to choose from. He's playing a Call to the Grave, so there's a 3rd ally now going into the grave. So now he deploys the Swabby. He only has 1 action point. So he's activating Mage Master Boots. So he wants to deploy a 2nd ally. So here comes Rigor Mortis. And I mean, it comes at the right time for him because with this hand I can clear almost nothing, like except for 1. And so here I block for a 7 with the Arc Smash and the Fate Foreseen. Can use the Booze and then put the Sigil of Solace into Arsenal. I see another Sigil of Solace. I definitely want to keep that on top to get that live early and not run into like a blocking situation later. So another question is, do I kill the Rigor or do I kill the Swabby? I do decide to go for the Swabby in hope that he doesn't have a Fearless Confrontation because he's activating Compass. He most certainly does not have one in hand. And he doesn't have one on top, so we can clear the Swabby here. That was good, but if he would have had a Fearless Confrontation, that would have sucked, right? Then, like, Swabby would survive. So again, a hand without Go again. I do have 2 Sigils, 1 in Arsenal, 1 in hand. And with a NIMBY, for example, I could go up to 6 with a Tunic resource and drawing the NIMBY. So I could use Booze and Mocking Blow to block. So technically, in a way, I have 12 block, 6 life gain, 6 block with Booze, Mocking Blow, and the 2 Sigils. So let's see if he is able to get like some Go again. He can certainly do stuff here, but he decided to actually like put the Avast Yi into graveyard because the other card he saw from the Chart the High Seas was the Eye of Ophidia, and he didn't want to discard this. So, but I mean, he has 2 allies on board already. He has a Gold Kiss Rum. So probably he can make things happen here. And he also has a Leyline. Insane how many cards Gravy can play with. Okay, so he is using the Scuba. By the way, he also gave me gold to tip the barkeep around. So Scuba's coming in for 6. Yeah, I mean, I can block 6 right away. There's only more damage coming in. Okay, and now he's hooking Rigor Mortis and dealing 6 damage here because I definitely need to clear an ally here. Yeah, so I think it's okay. Technically, it didn't take damage on this turn because I have the Sigils around. And now I can use the NIMBY. And so yeah, I try to kill the Sawbones. I was thinking about killing the Scuba first because I don't want him to recycle another Leyline. But yeah, at the end, Sawbones is just like so valuable because of like 6 power attack as well as preventing a damage. And so this makes killing Scuba later easier, but I don't know. So please let me know in the comments, would you have killed the Scubas first in both situations to allow for the non-recycling, so to not allow Mikey to recycle any of the ley lines. So my hand is okay. I mean, still have the Sigil and Arsenal. I could use Mocking Blow to pitch into looking for a scrap, kill the Scuba, and then use Mandible Claw to kill the Rigor. But obviously, there's still an option for Mikey to deploy more allies. A Big Bully and Sink Below to block. So 7 block is feeling good here. And yeah, Mikey used the Chart of the High Seas and saw a back alley break line on top. So he's gaining an action point, which again sucks here very much. Yeah, and so let's see. He's pitching another back alley break, not back galley break line, last ditch effort. So I already killed quite a good amount of allies here, but there's still a lot more allies around. So comes a Murderous Rebel for 5. Because of the ley line he used. So using sink here, don't want to sink a card. Taking 1. Now pitching into gold. So the good thing is that he used quite a good amount of gold already. I think he was up to 8 gold at one point. Now he's down to 2. But as we all know, Gravy, like he has so many options to generate more gold. But you see, like he already pitched 4 cards, now 5, 6, whatever, deploying a Whaler Humperdinck while still having 2 cards in hand. So not only will he deploy a Whaler Humperdinck, but he'll also attack with a Whaler Humperdinck, I suppose. Wow. So coming in for 13. So I'm giving him 5 block here. So taking 8, go down to 11. And now I actually need to deploy my whole hand. So looking for a scrap into Claw, into the Whaler Humperdinck in order to deal with it. And he still had that action point. So there's another Rigor Mortis he's coming in with. Yeah, so I block with my 2 remaining armor, going down to 7. But what an insane turn he pulled together here. Absolutely crazy. I can't remember how many cards he pitched this turn, but I don't know, must have been like 10 or what? So he's at 20 cards now. Let's see where he goes up to. 25, 26. Yeah, so 10 cards. He pitched 10 cards. Insane. Absolutely balanced hero, definitely. Yeah, so looking for a scrap, 5 go again into Whaler Humperdinck. Even with 1 Fearless Confrontation, which he pitched just now, I'm still able to kill Whaler Humperdinck here. But I noticed there's a second round, so maybe we need to do this again at one point. Now, life total 38-7. Definitely very much in the game. Good thing is I'm seeing another looking for a scrap here. I see 2 blues, the swing big. I still have the Sigil in arsenal. So again, there's the option for me to kill 2 allies for sure. But let's see what he's doing first. He only played 2 Conqueror of the High Seas yet. So there's still 1 left in his deck. I think all Avasti have been used, so that's definitely not an option anymore for Go Again. But that's definitely the recommendation if you play into Gravy. Keep track of what he's having in Graveyard, how many Go Again options he has, etc. And also, we kind of know what he's playing, so how many 3 blocks are left, how many allies are left. Try to keep track as much as possible. Try to keep track of the Fearless Confrontation. I think that can be one of the most impactful cards that can destroy your whole turn. Okay, so Saltwater as well. He's revealing another Humperdinck. So definitely good for me here, I guess, that he didn't hit the blue. Because I suppose that with another blue, he could have done more nasty stuff. Also interesting, he's out of gold right now. So I'm the richer of the 2 heroes with 1 gold. But life, probably more important than gold. So here's hooking. Yeah, because he created a gold earlier. And now he's attacking with the scuba. And yeah, I decided to not block this. So he's creating another gold. Oh yeah, he obviously used the gold baited hook because he's creating a gold with scuba. So now he's at 2 gold. And here I decided to then not overblock this by too much. Yes, I take a damage for sure, but I can also put the swing big into arsenal because I know now that he has the Whaler Humperdinck in hand. And that can certainly be very threatening to me if he deploys this and I don't have an answer right away. So here we clear the scuba first. Now we play the Mandible Claw to kill the Rigor Mortis. And now we play the Sigil to go back up to 8 life. And put the swing big into arsenal for Humperdinck. Okay, so no Go Again on my next hand, but a lot of block value with Steel Victory, Mocking Blow, Sink Below. I have Tunic up, so again, I could pump NIMBY to 6 if I'd want to. And Mikey used the Compass as well as Gravy. Now he's deploying a Chum, should be his last. He's pitching Scuba as well as Whaler, but he's not attacking me, which is good. So yeah, now thinking, do I deploy the NIMBY to kill the Chum? But I mean, he has 26 cards left, so there's a high likelihood, I think, for a Fearless Confrontation to be available in his hand. And so I decide to use the Swing Big in order to clear the Chum. And now I can put the Sink below an Arsenal and move on with my turn. So there are 6, 12, 14 allies already in grave. So yeah, three allies should be left in deck. Scuba, Humperdinck, and not sure what the other one is. All right, here comes another Conqueror. I do have a Sink, so I can block 7 of this easily. Also thinking about blocking with a Tunic, but it's at 3. There's no need right now. So yeah, blocking with Steel Victory, now deploying the Sink. So he deals 1 damage to me, but doesn't get gold, doesn't get a card. Oh, and by the way, he pitched a Fearless Confrontation, so he had it in hand. So it was definitely a good call to use the Swing Big here. Murderous Rebel coming down. He doesn't have an ally in hand. And so I think I missed blocking here. And so we tried to revert back, but then at the end decided, okay, not going to happen. Because he actually played a blue. Yeah, he played a blue. He had a Rigor and Arsenal, so now I can block 4, 6 here on the Rigor. Same outcome. All right, now we swing the Claw into his last Rigor, leaving him with a Humperdinck and a Scuba. So as always, he checks top to see if there are 3 Fearless Confrontation available. And next turn. I do have some go again here. Also I have the Command and Conquer, and like the E-Strike is now good also in order to clear the Humperdinck. I mean, Command and Conquer is not enough, that's for sure. So it depends a little bit on how Mikey is playing this. He's playing a Tip the Barkeep to get another Gold Kiss Rum, and he's attacking me with a Fearless Confrontation. Okay. Still 22 cards left in deck. So I'm giving him 6 here. Actually, yeah, give away the E-Strike. Not sure if that was correct. Maybe I should have kept that in Arsenal. But yeah, no, I also need the life. And so I do play the Command and Conquer here because that's threatening his Arsenal. And so either his Arsenal goes or he blocks with 2 cards. And actually also gives me the gold-plated hook. So that was good. So without set interference, obviously there's the option for me to get some go again if needed. So I could go Claw and then into Show of Strength for 8. Or yeah, also like I get either a Big Bully or the red Mocking Blow, which could help me block, or I could put an Arsenal, or I could use it as a resource. Multiple options here. So there's a Saltwater Swell coming, seeing a Jittery Bones on top, so he has 5 resources. But yeah, he only comes in for 1 with a Saltwater Swell. And yeah, I'm thinking, what do I do? Do I give him a 3 block? Do I give him a Shelter? And so yeah, at the end I did decide I will discard the Shelter to prevent that 1 damage. And yeah, if there's another attack coming down from his Arsenal, I can also prevent 1 damage from that. Here we go, preventing the 1 damage. He's using Compass to see what's on top. And he ends his turn. So now the question is, do I attack him or not? At the end, I decided I'm going to attack him. But at the same time, maybe I shouldn't have, right? Maybe I should, yeah, probably that's the right call here. I should just like pitch the outside interference into Mandible Claw, keep the rest, at least the show of strength into Arsenal. All ships are gone, so I can stay safe in my Arsenal to be deployed later, ideally into the Humperdinck. That way, yes, I mean, either he takes 3 damage or he gives me a card, but I'm not wasting cards by playing them. And here he's over-blocking the Mandible Claw like crazy because he said that he needs to get through his deck now. Otherwise, he gives me an opening and he needs to get down to his last 2 allies in order to kill me sooner rather than later. And so here's just passing. And yeah, I mean, I have a sigil, so I can go up to 7 life again. Now the question is, what do I do now? And I decide to play the boost and then also play the yellow Mocking Blow. It gives me at least like a vigor for my next turn. I can use my tunic resource efficiently. I can throw damage. But also, knowing that he wants to block in order to get to his attacks, I don't know if that was a good call. Maybe I should have just like pitched into Claw, but then he can also block. Yeah. Again, if you have any idea on how you would have played this, please let me know in the comments because I'm really unsure what's correct here. So Mocking Blow is not booing me because, I'm at lower life. But with the tuning resource and the blue Mocking Blow, I can pitch into Kayo. Actually blocking 6 with a Tip the Barkeep and a Jittery Bones. And now I use the RKO ability to come in for 9 and also gaining 3 life. So going up to 7. All right, so we do have an outside interference, a steal victory, so we have blues, we have a sink below, we have a command and conquer. So probably I want to deploy the command and conquer in order to threaten the arsenal again. I wish I would have a pummel here, right? So why could he not attack me so I could sink below and then maybe the next card is pummel, who knows? I mean, there are only 11 cards left and I haven't seen it once yet through the game. And so, yeah, because I have the vigor, I end up only pitching the outside interference. It's a no block. Yes, I can bring it into a 3 block, but maybe the go again can be helpful at a later stage. And so Command and Conquer coming in for 6. He has been quite carefully like crafting his hand. So I hope that he needs his hand in order to deploy some stuff. And so, yeah, he comes in only blocking with the loot the hold, and we actually get a ley line from his arsenal. I have lost count on how many ley lines he had with the scubas. And here, actually, like the second to next card would have been the pummel. Very unfortunate. Like I think that could have probably changed things if he would have needed to discard another card from hand. I mean, he just passed anyway, but it seems like he needed the cards in hand. So yeah, unfortunate. So here, I need to do something, I felt. So I wanted to play the Rotten Remains. We both have so many 1-power cards here, so bring it up to 6. I think if I wouldn't have used the looking for a scrap feature like a little bit earlier, I probably would have been able to deal 1 more damage, but still with the RKO ability, it comes in for 11. Doesn't help, but at least it makes the life total look a little bit more evenly here. Okay, so having good blocking options, I can bottom the nimblism if he attacks. But yeah, first he's using his last gold. He is discarding the Humperdinck. He's playing a prismatic ley line. Now he's playing a golden tipple for 4. Oh, that hurts, of course. But I mean, yeah, I need to block it anyway to some extent. And so yeah, I use the sink below, sinking the nimblism, getting another 2 block. I mean, yeah, unfortunate, but I still had the overcrowded. And now he has 2 allies in grave with the scuba and the Humperdinck. And so he deploys the scuba to recycle another ley line, I suppose. But yeah, we have enough attack in hand. So we could just like block with offensive behavior, for example, or Mocking Blow, and then hit the scuba for 6. And he's actually coming in for 6, yeah. But at the same time, I know that there's a Humperdinck out, so I can't really use the Show of Strengths, I think, to kill the Scuba. So yeah, he takes 3 more life off of me. And now I send the offensive behavior. No, I sent the overcrowded because offensive behavior blocks for 1 more. So I think it's fine sending the overcrowded, use the tunic resource and offensive behavior into RKO to get this up to 6 and kill his second to last ally. All right, doggy dead. Okay, unfortunate. 2 Nimbies, so 2 blocks, 2 3 blocks basically. And then also the Show Strength in Arsenal. So I need to keep at least 1 blue. So I probably keep a Nimby. If he now deploys the Humperdinck, I can discard the outside interference, get a 3 block. So block 6 with the 3 blocks and then 8 with a Nimby. So he's creating another gold while using a gold to draw a card with the riches. He also has a Diamond Amulet. He's activating the Diamond Amulet to get another action point. And so he's playing Whaler now. Because he played the Diamond Amulet as a blue. Okay, now I understand. So I discard outside interference for a 3 block. Doesn't really matter which one. Okay, he's drawing into another gold. So it seems like he needs another blue. Or he doesn't. No. Okay, hooking Whaler coming in for 11. Yeah, so I give 8, taking 3. I was thinking of like giving the tunic, as you can see here, but I undo this now, I believe, because yeah, it's not needed yet. It doesn't matter if I'm at 1 or 2, I can still block with the tunic later, and maybe, depending on what comes next, I can use another tunic resource. Because now, if he doesn't have 2 Fearless Confrontation in his next hand, and I saw he has 1 in pitch, and he should have 1 more in hand, I suppose, when he draws up, then yeah, if he doesn't have 2, he cannot protect the Whaler Humperdinck. Okay, so here, sending Show of Strength, targeting the Whaler, and Whaler's gone. So we have cleared successfully all allies, but we had 1 life, which is unfortunate. I bet there's some damage coming through because now obviously there's his option to use his gold and to get access to his last ditch effort, and there's just probably no way around it for me now to not die. I think, like, if I remember now correctly, it's actually his last 2 attacks, the 2 last ditch effort. So if there would have been any, oh no, there's also like a Jittery Bones, but he doesn't have much to discard, so that's like 2 damage. But there's very little options, right? So if let's say, oh, and he also has like a Fearless Confrontation. So there are some attacks left, unfortunately. If you would not have any attacks left, obviously, then you can win by just like putting a blue into Claw every turn until he's dead. But yeah, Mikey is such a good player for with Gravy and lots of other heroes. He also has the Prismatic Leyline, of course. His, I don't know how many cards he played here. So here comes last ditch effort. 11, go again. I exactly have 11 block here. And now, no matter what attack comes down, I can block 1 with Tunic, and then this is over. So actually, it's a Fearless Confrontation killing me. Oh, yeah. Always feared this card throughout the game, and here it is to haunt me again. So yeah, that was it. I died. I didn't succeed. Tough game, of course, tough matchup. Please let me know what you think about this game, like the matchup against Gravy. And quickly, can I see how many? I think I didn't scroll down to his stats, but I would love to know how many ley lines he deployed. So yeah, let me know. Would you have killed the Scubas earlier? That would really be interesting to me. If you could tell. So let's quickly go into the review. as said, I feel very unfavored in this matchup, and a lot needs to go right in order for me as RKO to win against good Gravy players. I think like players that just get started with Gravy and are not seeing some of the optimal lines, you probably can fatigue them if you're a good RKO player. But yeah, in a like calling setting or whatever, this most likely will not happen. And so yeah, we as an RKO community would really need to get together and understand, okay, how can we make this matchup favorable? I think there are some more favorable lists, like for example the one that Ben Dodd is playing with lots more go again attacks might be more favorable, and also I think more aggressive. You don't kill all the allies, but you really attack face often. So my big question after this game is now, do I continue playing around Fearless Confrontation, or do I just say, okay, if he has it, he has it, and only if it's really crucial for me to clear an ally, I use a bigger attack? Because sometimes I could have killed the allies just with a claw, right, instead of like using a card, and maybe that would have made a difference. Could have made a difference in the end. I think he had too much power left, but I think in some games it can. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening to me, to watch this long video, to watch the game. Would be really interested in what's your perspective on the RKO versus Gravy matchup, how you would have played differently. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, it would mean the world to me if you could. In just 3 months, collecting 500 followers is insane. Thank you guys so much for appreciating what I do here and for supporting me. So take care and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.